We must go to the States, where they've now seen the resignation of the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheatle, who was overall responsible for this disaster where Trump was shot. And she had to appear, Cheatle had to appear at a congressional hearing. And you can hear this politician, Nancy Mace, absolutely pounce on her.
Say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political, yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's...
Yeah, I mean, it was a long, old, pulverizing old session there. And she was asked about the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan and how this compared.
You agree that this is the most serious security lapse since President Reagan was shot in 1981 of the Secret Service?
Yes, sir, I would.
And, do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? Do you know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. He resigned.
Yeah, I mean, how did she not resign the day after? It's a really weird one where she actually thought she could stay in her job. The guy was 130 meters from Trump. I think it's just the most unbelievable situation where they say, well, he was outside the perimeter and we, by the way, couldn't put an agent on that roof because it was sloping. It's the kind of thing you'd expect to happen in this country, frankly.
I mean, well, I wouldn't actually expect it to happen in this country because I would expect our security services to do a better job.
But you expect the Secret Service to do an amazing job.
You absolutely would. And I think here's the situation here, which again shines a light on political appointments, which is this lady was appointed by President Biden. It's one of those things where, it is a deeply political appointment and you've got to make sure that the person is not only responsible, but also making the right decisions. And I think that, she had to go.
And we have a look at the moment Trump was hit. I mean, this replays again and again and again, just there. And if it had missed, people would have said, oh, it wasn't that close. If it had gone 2 millimeters to the right, he'd be dead. The fact that it hit his ear, I don't know what would have happened. Had he been killed, God only knows. Were you talking about civil war, Leslie, you think, if he'd been killed? Because they would have had conspiracy theories for 40 years.
Yeah, it is unthinkable. And happily, it is unthinkable. I mean, we're forcing ourselves to go back over this again. But we've got what we've got with the situation in America. The thing that strikes me about that congressional hearing is that she did actually resign as a result of it. How many select committees in Britain have we seen go over the Postmaster, the Horizon scandal, and people absolutely brazen out the same level of complete guff, and they're still at the end of it.
There's a story in the Mirror.
There's something working there.
Yeah, story in the Mirror about Kamala Harris, who's this is going to be the soundbite of the election, her attacking Trump. So she's now the candidate. And I think we can see this soundbite, which I think she may say more than once.
In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
So very well delivered, and she will say it again and again. She was a public prosecutor in California, that's why she's saying that. And she's a little bit ahead of Trump in the polls, so we have a proper contest there in the States now. Wow.